The changeover switch provides information to the driver. The LED at the top indicates which fuel is being used. The 4 lower LEDs act as the fuel gauge for the LPG tank. When starting the cab from a cold start, such as at the beginning of your day, the cab should be running on petrol. The LED at the top of the changeover switch will be red. This confirms that the cab is running on petrol. Begin your journey on petrol. When the engine temperature has increased, and the temperature gauge reaches at least 5 bars, halfway, you can now switch over to LPG. To do so, simply press the center of the changeover switch. The top LED will now be green, to indicate that the cab is now running on LPG. We recommend that you change over to LPG whilst the cab is in motion, rather than when stationary. You can leave the cab in LPG mode throughout the day. If at any time you turn the engine off, for example waiting at a rank, the cab will remain in LPG mode when you restart it. You may observe that the top LED will be orange, before turning green. If the engine temperature has dropped sufficiently, it will start in petrol before switching to LPG automatically. At the end of your shift, as you approach home, press the center of the switch to put the cab back into petrol mode. This will ensure that when you cold start the cab the next day, it will already be in petrol mode. Should you run out of LPG, the system will automatically revert back to petrol mode. When you have refueled the LPG tank, press the center of the changeover switch to put the cab back into LPG mode. To recap. At the beginning of your day, start the cab in petrol mode. Manually switch to LPG mode when the temperature gauge reaches halfway. Throughout the day, the cab can be left in LPG mode. At the end of your shift, remember to manually switch back to petrol mode, in preparation for the next day. Should you run out of LPG whilst driving, the cab will automatically switch back to petrol mode. Once you have refueled with LPG, you will need to press the changeover switch, if you wish to use LPG.